Session is called to order. Everybody is requested to rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bahaw, may ilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nanginginig, ang bituin ng araw niya kailan pang may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng warangit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga akin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please remain standing for a minute of silent prayer and meditation. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we call the roll of members. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
The Secretary General is directed to call the roll.
Roll call of members, Honorable Representatives Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adiong, Adbincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biazon, Millones, Biron, Bolilia, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulot Begtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Fred, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chipeco, Jo, Coanco, Coliantes, Cortiz, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, Del Oso Montalia, Dimaporo Abdullah, Dimaporo Mohammed, Duabit, Durano, D, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ebardoni, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Feriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fuentebella, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gasolian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzalez Alexandria, Gonzalez Aurelio Dong, Gonzalez Fernando, Goriseta, Gulias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hopper, Halos Hos, Javier, Ho, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lazatin, Leachon, Lee, Lim Kaishong, Lobregat, Lopez Benher, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangodadato Suharto, Mangodadato Sahid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañaon, Oaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radaza, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Rowapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque Hari, Roque Rogelio, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Meri, Sabeliano, Sema, Chiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrelita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Si Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny Abubakar, Tejada, Tebes, Tianco, Ting, Tino, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villafuerte, Villanueva, Villaraza Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Biolago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate Subiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 212 members responded to the call.
With 212 members responding to the call, the chair declares a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we defer the approval of the adjournment. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we take up reference of business and direct the Secretary General to read the titles in the bills on first reading. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Secretary General is directed to read on first reading bills and resolutions.
Reference of business, bills on first reading, House Bill 6693, prohibiting hazing and regulating other forms of initiation rights, Representative Subiri.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 6694, amending Section 11 of Republic Act 10659, Representative Sagarbaria.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 6695, increasing the honorarium and Christmas bonus of barangay officials, Representative Panotes.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 6696, institutionalizing the barangay health workers, Representative Panotes.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 6697, instituting mechanisms to protect the elderly, Representative Panotes.
To the Committee on Population and Family Relations.
House Bill 6698, creating an additional branch of the Municipal Trial Court in cities in the 8th Judicial Region, Representative Mercado.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 6699, establishing a medical scholarship program, Representative Mercado.
To the Committee on Higher Education and Technical Education.
House Bill 6700, mandating the DBP and the Al-Amana Islamic Investment Bank of the Philippines to undertake the rebuilding and repair of the residences and commercial buildings in Marawi City, Representative Salo.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries.
House Bill 6701, renumbering the Surigao del Norte 1st and 2nd District Engineering Offices, Representatives Matugas and Barbers.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 6703, promoting global citizenship, Representative Belaro.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and Committee on Higher Education.
House Bill 6704, providing for the rules of the selection of a leader entrepreneur, Representative Belaro.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 6705, reviving GMRC, Representative Belaro.
To the Committee on Basic Education.
House Bill 6706, creating a research fund, Representative Belaro.
To the Committee on Science and Technology.
House Bill 6709, ordaining the promotion of social enterprises, Representative Yap Artur.
To the Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship Development.
House Bill 6712, amending Section 9 of Republic Act 6758, Representative Kua.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 6713, converting the Lanao del Norte Provincial Hospital, Representative Dimoporo Muhammad Khalid.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 6716, creating and providing a regular 5-minute break every 2 hours from sitting time, Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 6717, promoting the cultivation, production, processing, marketing, and the distribution of pili nut, Representatives Belaro and Bordado.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 6718, establishing a 50-bed capacity district hospital in Imus, Cavite, Representative Advincula.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 6719, providing further opportunities for senior citizens, Representative Datol.
To the Committee on Population and Family Relations.
House Bill 6720, establishing the Philippine ENT Center, Representative Alvarez Pantaleon.
To the Committee on Health.
Resolution, House Solution 1485, directing competent overseas workers affairs to inquire into the reported anomalies and corruption in the issuance of overseas employment certificates, Representatives Manalo, Swansing Estrelita, Castelo, Tan, and several others.
To the Committee on Rules.
Communications, letter dated 16 November, Playmar K. Canete, Acting Head, Litigation Administrative Investigation Group.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries.
Letters dated 20 November of Matthew M. David, Acting Head, BSP.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries. Majority Leader.
Tapos ba? Mr. Speaker, I move that we resume consideration of House Bill 6517 as contained under Committee Report 402, and for this purpose direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure. So moved.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the bill.
House Bill number 6517, an act providing compassionate and right of access to medical cannabis and expanding research into its medicinal properties.
The Honorable Sponsor, Rodito Albano, is recognized.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Gentleman from Isabela, Rodito Albano, to sponsor the measure.
You may proceed.
May I ask the parliamentary status, Mr. Speaker? I think we are in the period of interpellation and debate.
Mi-
Majority Leader, will you state the parliamentary status of the bill?
Mr. Speaker, I move that. Mr. Speaker, let me correct that. The gentleman has answered his question. We are in the period of interpellation and debate. Who's gonna interpellate?
The gentleman, I hope you understood the parliamentary status. Now, the Majority Leader, who is the next to interpellate?
I think as promised, it will be the Honorable Atienza.
Mr. Speaker,
Okay, Manny Subiri.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Manuel Subiri of the 3rd District of Bukidnon for a short manifestation.
The Honorable Subiri is recognized to make a short manifestation. Honorable Subiri, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to correct myself with what I've mentioned last week with regards to the medicine, the byproduct from the plant cannabis. It's a byproduct. It's oil in oil form. So I mentioned last week, Mr. Speaker, that it was already FDA approved. I want to correct myself, Mr. Speaker. If you don't mind, I will read what it says from the records in the U.S., Mr. Speaker.
You may go ahead.
With regards to the product name is Epidiolex. It is a byproduct of the plant itself, but it is in oil form. Just to clarify to everybody in the House, Mr. Speaker, may I read what I have right now? Okay, this product is an experimental drug derived from cannabis to treat epilepsy. This is to treat epilepsy, Mr. Speaker. This is on the brink of becoming the first of its kind to win U.S. government approval. This drug, the main ingredient of this drug is cannabidiol, meaning to say it does not contain THC. Again, it does not contain THC, which is marijuana's main psychoactive ingredient. So it does not get the users high. And apparently, during its studies, cannabidiol does appear to help reduce seizures in 2 of the hardest to treat forms of epilepsy. So which is the Lennox-Gastaut syndrome and the Dravet syndrome. If approved, the new drug would be sold under the name Epidiolex as a syrup. So, Mr. Speaker, based on the studies given to me or my research from the web, the results presented at the American Academy of Neurology, the participants using the higher dose group saw their seizure occurrence drop by about 42%. The others saw the decrease of roughly 37%. But those given the placebo only saw a 17% reduction. What does this mean? I believe they've already sampled with 1,500 human beings, Mr. Speaker, and the results were very positive, especially for hardcore epilepsy victims or epilepsy, how do you call this, humans. Then according to the disease Center for Disease Control and Prevention, epilepsy right now in the U.S. alone affects more than 4.3 million Americans. Among these millions, however, various types and forms of the condition exist, and everyone reacts to treatments differently. But when they use this medicine that they've been testing in the US, Mr. Speaker, Epidiolex, it has helped most of them, if not all. And according to what I've gathered, is that the FDA may approve it early next year. So I just want to correct myself, Mr. Speaker, that I said there is already a drug or a medicine in the US that's FDA approved that is derived from the plant cannabis. I just want to correct myself and say that it is still on the brink of being given an FDA approval. They've passed on their documents last October 30, and they expect the FDA to approve it positively in 60 days to 90 days period. So that's all, Mr. Speaker. I just want to correct myself and put it on record that this drug is still in the process of FDA approval, but with positive results. That's all, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, and a good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much also to the distinguished Congressman Manuel Subiri for that informative thing about Equidolex, Mr. Speaker. And may I say that some drugs already in the market there, especially the drug Marinol, which was FDA approved already by the FDA in the United States.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, next to interpolate is the Honorable Gentleman from Buhay Party List, the Honorable Lito Atienza.
The Honorable
I move that he be recognized.
The Honorable Atienza is recognized to interpolate the sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat po, Majority Floor Leader, the distinguished sponsor for entertaining more questions from this quarter.
Yeah, very willingly, Mr. Speaker, to the distinguished gentleman from Manila.
And we would like to put it on record that the openness of the discussion on this matter is a very critical issue because we are approving or in the verge of approval a very sensitive matter of a classified, listed, dangerous drug, which could affect the anti-drug war being waged in the country today. No less than President Duterte is leading this campaign, and so many lives have been sacrificed in the altar of good intentions. So ito pong batas na ito ay maaaring makapagpahina ng kampanya ng ating Pangulo, kaya dapat lang pag-usapan natin mabuti at dinggin ang ating mga kasamahan lahat ng issue na bumabalot dito para hindi po naman tayo makasama o makapagbawas na effectivity ng kampanya natin nationwide, wherein all members of Congress, I'm sure, are supportive of putting an end to the drug menace in our society, especially among the young. Kaya yung amin pong linya ng pagtatanong ay paghingi natin ng paliwanag. Bakit nga ba tayo lilihis sa magandang intensyon ng ating Pangulo at magandang intensyon ng ating saligang batas? The principal sponsor has emphasized very, very clearly that they have introduced this measure in pursuance of the constitutional provision on the right of citizens to be given protection of their health, and making it a very clear mandate on the part of the state as a major policy to provide medical products that are products of a continuing development and research to provide affordable medicines for the great masses of our people. And we have taken the position that marijuana in any form, cannabis oil or substances from marijuana, could become a gateway for the introduction or reintroduction of marijuana in our society rather than given as a solution to the problems cited by the sponsor. Between Wednesday of last week and up to the present, I'm sure they have gotten information or testimonials or studies conducted by groups in favor of the measure. But on the other hand, we also have received many such studies, research, and position papers of medical practitioners, especially the Philippine Medical Association, the Philippine Psychological Association, and leaders of the medical practitioners like Dr. Leachon, President of the Manila Doctors Medical Staff, and very active in promoting legislation that would help us provide better medicines for our people. And he made it very clear in his position paper that cannabis oil, marijuana, or cannabis sativa, or any derivative of these elements are not found to be medicinal. So there is something wrong probably with the way we have presented the proposed law, immediately citing it as a medicinal in nature and allowing every citizen access to it. Kaya at this point in time, I will reiterate my question on the distinguished congressman. Yung po bang mga sinasabi ninyong mga study at basis ninyo na mga estado na sa Amerika ito ay ginagamit ng batas at pinasan na nila upang sila ay magkaroon ng access sa marijuana or derivatives thereof?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, may I reiterate also that we are in consonance with the distinguished gentleman from Manila that we are also in support of the drug war of President Duterte. That's why this bill is not, again, may I reiterate, it's not for recreational use. So please don't conflate recreational use from the medical use of cannabis. And also, under this bill, we are not prescribing cannabis in its raw form. And it's very clear that we are not giving it to any Juan or any Juan de la Cruz or Pedro or anybody who is not qualified or is not a patient that needs medical cannabis. And also, under this bill, we have put into place that qualified patients have to be certified by their S2 doctors licensed by PIDEA with whom they have bona fide relationship that they need and will benefit from medical cannabis. Bona fide relationship refers to a physician and patient relationship wherein licensed S2 physicians have made a complete assessment of the patient's medical history and current medical condition, including an appropriate diagnostic and personal physical examination sufficient to determine that the patient is suffering from a debilitating medical condition. Mr. Speaker, again, this medicine will be administered only to qualified patients in processed form, as said earlier by the gentleman from Bukidnon, that it will be given in its raw form, extracted in its raw form, and sometimes this medicine that are extracted in its raw form has the benefits of, or the THC, which is the one that makes you high, shall be removed and administered to epileptic patients. So not any Tom, Dick, and Harry, or not any Juan de la Cruz or Pedro can avail of this drug, Mr. Speaker, unless it's only prescribed by a qualified physician under the administration of PDEA and the DDB, and also approved by the FDA, Mr. Speaker. And we are not decriminalizing marijuana. Marijuana still stays as a dangerous drug, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask one simple question from the sponsor. If he has any real knowledge based on research, not an opinion, that what he's talking about is indeed proven by research and conclusive enough to say that the substance coming from cannabis sativa could become medicinal. Meron po ba siya ng masasabi ngayon, mabibigay sa ating material on this matter?
Mr. Speaker, I don't do any research because I'm not a scientist, or I don't do any form of research, Mr. Speaker. But I've heard testimonies, especially from even colleagues, and one of our colleagues who just passed away, Mr. Speaker, I heard it from their family that they use cannabis in the end days of her life, Mr. Speaker. And I think it helped her a lot, and it helped their family alleviate the pain and their suffering also, Mr. Speaker. So I didn't do any research except to watch for the first time before. That's why I introduced this bill in CNN. Mr. Sanjay Gupta, who was first an unbeliever, and then when he showed it in CNN, because he was a doctor of CNN, and he showed this little baby being given marijuana oil or cannabis oil, and her seizures dissipated from 300 seizures to just 3. So, Mr. Speaker, from testimonies and from reading, from further readings of studies done by researchers abroad, because here in the Philippines, Mr. Speaker, when I asked the doctors from UP Manila if they did any research about medical cannabis, and they said they never had and they never did any research on medical cannabis. And I don't know why the PMA keeps on saying that they're against medical cannabis when they themselves never did not one single research when I asked them during our committee hearing, Mr. Speaker. So our researchers are based on the researchers abroad, in the United States and in other countries, which even the doctors here sometimes admit those researchers as sometimes true, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, from the beginning of our interpellation and up to this point in time, a principal sponsor has repeatedly stressed that his proposal aims to address the pain suffered by certain patients. Am I correct to assume
Mr.
that?
Speaker, the medicine...
In other words, it is a painkiller that you are
sometimes
really...
it alleviates pain, and sometimes it alleviates it lessens the seizures, Mr. Speaker.
So what would
it's
be
not
the
only
main...
pain, but actually it's pain management, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, so what would you say, distinguished sponsor, would be the main purpose of having a bill like this? Ano po ba ang epekto nito sa mga pasyente na makukumbinsi ng batas na ito? Na baka sila ay pumasok sa mundo ng paggamit ng substances, elements from cannabis sativa or marijuana, because it's one and the same. Yung sinasabi niyong cannabis at marijuana ay isa lang. So yung substance ang sinasabi niyo ay magdudulot ng kabutihan sa pasyente, because we have a mandate from the Constitution that we should only give medicines that will benefit the patient and definitely not harm them in any way. So, meron po ba kayo talagang masasabing dito sa ating bansa, wag na natin isali Amerika. Ang Amerika po, meron din kami mga sulat sa amin ng Philippine-American medical societies who are violently against this measure and pleading and begging us not to allow it because it will ruin the future of young Filipinos. Kayo ba'y merong mabibigay dito sa Pilipinas na pag-aaral, pagsusuri, solid research that will indicate that your measure is founded on studies of Philippine medical and laboratory practitioners?
Yes, as I've said earlier, Mr. Speaker, and I'll reiterate it now, that there was no research here for the simple reason that it's not allowed. And they cannot have any possession, can take any possession of the drug. And also, I've asked this question many times to the Philippine Medical Association when they were in our committee hearings, and I asked them if they conducted any research about marijuana, and they told me, or cannabis, they told me they never conducted any research also. So we're just basing this from testimonies, like the testimony of our colleague, Congressman Subiri from Bukidnon, and also from other colleagues and other patients who have testified that it really helped them in their management of pain, or how their symptoms were alleviated by using medical cannabis, Mr. Speaker.
That's the whole point, Mr. Speaker. The principal sponsor keeps on mentioning testimonies in support. But no study has been presented up to this point in time to the body to really support his position that marijuana could be considered a medicine at all. On the other hand, lahat ng mga nagsasabi, eksperto sa kanilang linya, medical practitioners, are saying, don't pass that piece of legislation because that will make the young, especially, and the patients, addicted to the substance. Hindi naman sila gagaling, pero sila ay magiging addicted to marijuana eventually. So yan po ang ating dapat tumbukin dito sa interpellation na ito. Dapat ang principal sponsor at yung kanyang grupo ng mga co-sponsors magbigay ng paraan upang kami ay mabigyan itong kopya ng kanilang pinagbabasihan, if at all they have. But I maintain the fact that they do not have any local Philippine society, Philippine medical society at that, to support this particular bill. In fact, all the organizations of Philippine medical practitioners are against this measure. So why would the Philippine Congress take the word of a politician like my colleague? I'm a politician, he's a politician. He's saying it's good, I'm saying it's bad. Eh wala po naman silang binibigay na material sa atin para masuri natin ang epekto ng marijuana sa tao. Like for instance, we just received another study of a group of medical practitioners saying that if this law is passed, the users could become affected by alterations of their genes, even genes. Would we want our people to be changing, altering their genes because of a medicine that we allowed without proper research and study?
Again, I'm reiterating, there is no research and study here. If that's what the gentleman from Manila is saying, even the Philippine Medical Association has no studies also to prove otherwise that this medicine is bad for the patients, Mr. Speaker. And they're also relying on studies abroad, Mr. Speaker. So what studies are you talking about here in the Philippines? There are no studies here in the Philippines, only testimonials, Mr. Speaker. Because the mere fact that the drug is banned here in the Philippines, so they cannot conduct researches here in the Philippines, Mr. Speaker. That's why this bill says that, what's the title? That's why the bill says that this is an act providing compassionate and right to access to medical cannabis and expanding research into its medical properties, Mr. Speaker. And unless the bill is passed, then and only then can they say that there is research here in the Philippines. I am reiterating, Mr. Speaker, that there is no research here. So the Philippine Medical Association cannot say that they made any research here. Their research also depends upon their researchers abroad, Mr. Speaker. And I have to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that in other countries, it is not for medical use already. Marijuana is for recreational use already, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to note that this principal sponsor has admitted, number one, that he cannot produce a study on the advantages of a medicinal substance from marijuana. Number two, he's also putting on record that there are countries who have already suffered the destructive effects of introducing marijuana as a medicine. They started with medicinal marijuana, they graduated now to legalizing marijuana. In fact, in some countries, I agree with him. Hindi lamang legalized na marijuana, legalized na pati yung mga cocaine, legalized na yung shabu na pinagbabawal natin dito. Okay na sa kanila. Yung po ba pupuntahan natin na nakikita niya at dinadala niya tayo? Yun precisely ang punto ng Philippine Medical Association. Marijuana has always been considered as a dangerous drug. The second most dangerous drug in the Philippines, widely used. Pag ito ay binigyan natin ng daan na maklasify, mabigyan ng bagong pangalan, itago sa likod ng cannabis nomenclature ang substance ng marijuana, ay pupunta tayo ron eventually. And the mere fact that he admits that there is no research locally that he can produce, well, we have the Philippine Medical Association violently objecting to it, na hinihinga niya ng pag-aaral, mga doktor po yun, nag-aaral na po yun. At meron po naman tayo sigurong dahilan para tayong mga gumagawa ng batas, politicians that we are, should listen to the medical practitioners and not to our own minds and our own thinking. Sa tingin natin tama, sabi ng doktor masama, bakit tayo gagawa ng batas na makakasama at hindi makakabuti?
Mr. Speaker, maraming doktor na nagsasabing masama ito. Opinion nila yun, Mr. Speaker. Pero marami rin doktor na nagsasabing mabuti po itong gamot na ito. Katulad po ni former Health Secretary, Dr. Jaime Galvestan. Si UP Professor sa Toxicology and Pharmacology, Dr. Romeo Quiano. Ang Executive Director po ng UP PGH Cancer Institute, si Dr. George Garcia. At saka ang dami pang doktor dito na gusto nila sabihin ito, kaya lang nahiya po sila sabihin kasi baka matanggalan sila ng lisensya at magkaroon sila ng criminally prosecute itong mga doktor na ito na kung sasabihin nila piniprescribe namin yung cannabis. Pero kung makikita nyo po, base sa ating mga testimonya, marami na pong kumukuha nito at ang kumukuha po nito, yung mayayaman, nakaka-import o nakakalusot na po dito. Kung hindi lang po nila masabi na gumagamit sa nito kasi nga po bawal.
Mr. Speaker, bawal ang marijuana sapagkat alam nating lahat masama ang marijuana. Hindi nakakabuti sa bata, sa tao at sino mang gumagamit nito. Kung ang ating principal sponsor ay nakagamit na nito, sabi nga niya, noong isang linggo, siya ay gumagamit nito nung araw. At siya naman ay naging congressman pa. What is good for him, what good it give him, may not be good for everyone. Mapalad kayo na kayo ay gumamit ng marijuana, pero hindi kayo gumraduate sa kawalan. Sa ngayon, kayo'y miyembro ng Kongreso ng Pilipinas na inaasahan ng lahat ng Pilipino tutulong sa paggawa ng batas na magliligtas at hindi po makapagbibigay ng problema. Dahil ang sinasabi ninyo, ang main advantage of legalizing the use of substances from marijuana will alleviate pain from the patient. Yung po ba, tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? Ito po ay makatutulong sa pain management?
Tama po, Mr. Speaker. Tama po yun.
Yun, may
Makakatulong
preba
din po
kayo,
sa,
sabi nyo.
sa mga kwan. Ang medicinal marijuana, hindi ko sinasabi yung recreational marijuana kasi nung sinabi ni Congressman Manny Subiri, ang sabi niya, ang medicinal marijuana na natatanggal yung high. Ika niya, yun daw ang aaprubahan ng FDA, yung Epkilol. So, tanggal yung high nun, yung nagpapa-high na sinasabi nun. So, yung gamot na yun, ingredients ng marijuana na makakatulong doon sa mga epilepsy. At saka, yung paggamit ko ng marijuana nun, wag ko natin ihambing dito sa paggamit nun kasi wala ho akong sakit nun. At saka, ano ito, may kasabihan na ho tayo, one man's honey is another man's poison. Kahit ano naman pong gamot, kung allergic ka doon sa gamot na yon, kung ibigay sa iyo ng doktor, kahit ano pong gamot yon, makakasira po sa inyo kung hindi ho ugma doon sa komposisyon ng inyong katawan. Kaya nga ho dito sa batas na to, sinasabi natin, kailangan bona fide yung relationship ng doktor at saka yung pasyente para ho makita niya kung talagang kailangan mo itong gamot na ito. Hindi ho basta-basta naman yan gamot na yan na kung may epilepsy ka, ibibigay sa'yo. Eh kung allergic ka doon sa gamot na yan, doon sa marijuana na yan, mamatay ka. So hindi po lahat ito, hindi ho, itong batas na ito, hindi po lahat ng tao makaka-access nito. Alam niyo ho, kung recreational marijuana ang kailangan mo, hindi ka ho pupunta sa doktor para humingi ng recreational marijuana. Kasi unang-una, hindi ka po bibigyan ng doktor. Kung recreational marijuana ang kukunin mo at ang doktor bibigyan ka ng suppository, ay sa puwet ho papasok yung, yung gamot na yun. At hindi ka ho masasayahan doon sa gamot na ibibigay sa iyo ng doktor na yon. Hindi ka ho pupunta sa doktor kung ang recreational marijuana ang kailangan mo. Pupunta ka ho sa kalye at pupunta ka ho doon sa Cordillera, doon kila Teddy Bagilat, para ho makakuha ng recreational marijuana. Kaya nga po itong bill na ito, pinagbabawal po natin at sinasamahan natin si Presidente Duterte na ipagbawal pa rin ang paggamit nitong recreational marijuana. At nakalagay po dito sa na batas na ito, Mr. Speaker, na bawal ho sigarilyohin to at bawal din po i-prescribe in its raw form.
Sa tingin po ba ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor, si Pangulong Duterte ay susuporta dito sa batas na ito? Meron po ba siyang meron po ba siyang binitiwan salita kailanman sa nakaraan, kasalukuyan, na siya ay panig dito sa batas na ito?
Hindi ko po mabasa.
Ako po ay magbibigay ng aking sariling impresyon. I don't think the President would want this bill at this point in time in our war against drugs. Because this will dilute precisely the intentions of our anti-drug war. And what will it give the people? A temporary relief for their pain. You know, galang-galang na sponsor. Wala po ba tayong mga gamot ngayon na pinag-aralan na, bunga na ng research, at talaga po namang na-determine na effective painkillers in the market?
Yes, meron po, Mr. Speaker. If I can cite you an example, meron pong morphine na tinatawag derived from opium or from opiates. Ano po? At yan po kinakatakutan na po sa Amerika yan. At yan, sana wag lumaganap dito, pero nape-prescribe pa rin ng doktor dito for pain management din po. Kaya po yung ating mga pasyente, imbis na bigyan mo ng morphine ang 2-month-old or 4-month-old baby, ayaw po ng mga magulang nila at alam nila nakakasira po ng mga internal organs yung morphine na tinatawag. Itong morphine na ito, mas malalaho ito sa marijuana, pero ito nape-prescribe ng mga doktor pag masyadong masakit na po ang iyong nararamdaman, lalo-lalo na po kung may cancer ka, lalo-lalo na po rin kung marami kang seizures. So, mabalik ako kay President Duterte. Alam ko si President Duterte ay against talaga sa drugs. Pero may pahiwatig siya nung una siya nanalo at sabi niya, basta for pain management ang drug na yung marijuana, hindi lang sisigarilyohin at hindi for recreational use, pumapayag po siya, pumapanig po siya. Ang kailangan lang po niya, yung control na hindi basta-basta magtanim, not anybody can plant in their backyard marijuana. So not to proliferate and let marijuana thrive to all households, Mr. Speaker. Doon lang po siya against. Pero siya ay hindi against sa paggamit ng marijuana bilang gamot po doon lang sa mga nangangailangan po nito.
I will make my own prediction based on the debates that are going on now in Congress and in the public mind. The President will not go for this bill because it will dilute his campaign of really saving the nation from drugs. And I'm happy also to note, and I would like to put it on record, reiterate what the gentleman has already said. Doctors are hesitant to prescribe anything that has drug elements in the medicine that they are prescribing. Tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko?
Tama po. Lahat po ng doktor, karapatan po nila yan na hindi mag-prescribe ng gamot na ayaw nila i-prescribe.
Tama po.
Tama po yan. At lalo-lalo na po, kung suportado rin sila ng mga pharmaceutical, yung gusto lang nila i-prescribe, yun lang po ang i-prescribe nila kung under pharmaceutical, kung sila ay naka-payroll sa pharmaceutical. Kasi kung mapapansin mo dito sa ating bansa, napakamahal na po ng gamot, Mr. Speaker. Kasi unang-una, wala tayong research sa mga gamot. Lahat ng researches natin, galing sa mga research sa abroad, sa state. Kung makita mo yung mga doktor, magta-travel doon, titignan yung research ng iba, i-adapt nila rito. Kung magustuhan nila, yun ay prescribe nila. So karapatan po ng mga doktor yan, Mr. Speaker. Kaya nga po dito sa ating saligang batas na gagawin, yung act natin, sinasabi natin, kailangan bona fide yung relationship po ng pasyente at saka po ng doktor. Kailangan kilala nyo yung doktor at hindi yung pupunta ka lang sa isang doktor, prescription ng marijuana, hindi papayag yung mga doktor na gano'n. Hindi rin natin papayagan dito sa ating saligang batas at magkakaroon din sila ng mga IDs para makita po natin talaga na yung mga nabibigyan lang ng mga gamot na ito, yung talaga pong nangangailangan lamang po, yung mga pasyente po. We are doing this not for ourselves, but for the suffering patients only.
Malinaw po sa ating mga naririnig na meron naman tayong mga gamot na aprobado na ng Philippine Food and Drug Administration, readily available in the market, ready to be prescribed by the doctors. In other words, acceptable already to the rigid and very strict controls on dispensing these drugs which contain prohibited substances. Even morphine is allowed under existing laws in the country. Meron na po tayo niyan. That's allowed already by the Dangerous Drugs Act. It's already being done and benefiting many patients. What we cannot accept, we cannot understand at this point even, is to create another law that is not based on facts, that is not even based on research, solid research, and we would like to open the floodgates of people misunderstanding the intentions of government, even misunderstanding the intentions of the President. Bakit mo pinagbabawal ang droga, ang shabu? Bakit yung marijuana ngayon, papayagan nyo in certain forms, medicinal that you call it. But the gentleman has not presented any proof that marijuana or in any form of its substances can be considered medicinal. If at all, it alleviates the patient from certain degrees, levels of pain. As he calls it, pain management. Pero para gumamot at maging gamot, wala po siyang na-present up to this point in time, and that doesn't change our position. Therefore, to really consider this piece of legislation as a dangerous piece of legislation itself because it exposes our people to dangers which are not even mentioned by the bill. It mentions certain provisions that supposedly guarantees the control, strict control of the cultivation, the farm management, the harvesting, the extraction of the substance, even. But definitely, it only heightens our fears that the process itself will be subjected to abuse. And therefore, this piece of legislation will be promoting drug abuse and not at all solving the health problems of our people as mandated by the Constitution, which the gentleman has cited, and I'm also citing. Article 11, Article 13, strictly states that the state must give the people the kind of medicine that will help them, making it available for them to solve their medical problems. But definitely, it didn't mention there. If you can show me that the Constitution mentioned that even to the point of legalizing marijuana, then I am willing to accept his logic and his argument. But at this point in time, he has not shown this. He keeps on harping on the testimonies of those who claim they were benefiting from the cannabis oil or whatever substance derived from marijuana, but calling it a medicine, identifying it as a medicine has not been proven in the halls of Congress. And this interpellation brings it out for the record.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I vehemently object also to that statement, Mr. Speaker, because the gentleman has not even produced also any studies that marijuana is also harmful to the patients, Mr. Speaker, specifically to these epileptic patients and also to those who have cancer and to those terminally ill patients, Mr. Speaker. If that's what he's saying, Mr. Speaker, so there's no proof also that these doctors, are you saying now that these doctors have given marijuana to their patients and their patients died because of this marijuana? He cannot also produce any proof of that, Mr. Speaker. So the same, Mr. Speaker, I can only produce proof also from studies abroad that now in the United States and even from other countries, it jumped from medicinal marijuana to recreational marijuana. It only proves that marijuana is very safe as a medicine and also as a drug, because even recreational marijuana is even being given to normal people, Mr. Speaker. You know, if you are a normal person and you take drugs, I still believe that you will become abnormal, Mr. Speaker, because it alters your mind. Drugs alters your mind, especially if you are normal, Mr. Speaker. But if you are abnormal and you take drugs, then it will normalize your personality or your persona, Mr. Speaker. That's why those who go to doctors, Mr. Speaker, have abnormalities in their system. You don't go to a doctor if you are a normal person. Because if you go to a doctor when you are a normal person, then you are abnormal, Mr. Speaker. Especially when you ask for drugs, that will make you abnormal, Mr. Speaker. So these drugs that will be given to people are people who are suffering from abnormalities, Mr. Speaker. So please don't conflate recreational drugs from medicinal drugs, because recreational drugs will alter your state of mind. And in this bill, we are banning recreational drugs, which we are banning recreational marijuana, Mr. Speaker. We are not allowing marijuana to be prescribed by responsible doctors, Mr. Speaker. And we are not decriminalizing the use of recreational marijuana. I am with you in your crusade against the use of illegal drugs and recreational drugs for that matter, because it alters the minds of people, and it makes you abnormal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, let me point out again a very serious flaw in the principal sponsor's allegation that in America, as he is very fond of using America as a model, the many states, many places, many counties have already legalized marijuana for their medicinal purposes. But he fails to mention that the U.S. Federal Drug Administration issued a very strong statement. Ito po ang sinabi ng FDA, US FDA. They urge the U.S. Congress not to even consider legalizing this measure that is being offered by the gentleman. US FDA, if he would like us to talk about the U.S. condition, the US FDA totally condemns, as they urge the congressmen of the U.S. Congress not to tackle this bill, this similar bill from which he lifted, because I checked the similarities of bills. The bill that he is offering to us now is somehow similar to the ones that are being introduced in the United States of America. Pero pumasok puro ng US FDA, sinabi sa US Congress, and the congressmen listened, that they should not tackle this kind of proposal because 100% it is harmful for the user. Kaya yun po naman ang ating ibinibigay sa ating talaan. While he is mentioning the U.S. experiences, we are stressing that the United States Food and Drug Administration is totally against a similar measure that is being introduced in the U.S. Congress. At yun po naman kanyang binanggit, nakakulangan ng research. Hindi ko po kukontrahin at palagay ko susuportahan natin lahat kung itong batas na ito ay nagbibigay ng lisensya upang pag-aralan yung sinasabi niyang nakabubuting epekto ng marijuana sa tao. To allow a continuing research, we will support that kind of a measure. But to expose our people to the dangers of an untested, unresearched, and definitely doubtful conclusions by the sponsor and his co-sponsor are bordering on irresponsibility on the part of the Philippine Congress. Kung US Congress ayaw hawakan itong batas na ito, tayo pa ang mangunguna ngayon. Bakit hindi natin payagan ang lahat ng mga Europeans magkamali, legalizing cocaine, legalizing all kinds of drugs, legalizing marijuana, they smoke marijuana in their own public buses. Let them do their worst. Pabayaan natin silang magkamali, durugin nila ang kanilang lipunan, wasak na ang kanilang pamilya, pero dito sa atin, ipagtanggol naman natin yung ating pamilya, yung ating pag-uugali, yung ating kinagisnan, at yung provision ng ating saligang batas na nagsasabing dapat bigyan natin ng proteksyon ang mga mamamayan at huwag natin bibigyan ng panganib. So, if this bill will only allow a research, by all means, let's allow it. But if it will allow the use of marijuana substances, no amount of promises of this principal sponsor, he can go to the high heaven saying, nasubukan ko yan, magaling yan. Yan ay nasubukan ni Pedro, magaling yan. Yan ay nasubukan nila, magaling yan. Yun ang sabi ninyo. E paano naman kung ikaw ay isang magulang? Yung anak mo nalango sa marijuana, lumundag, mataas na gusali, sapagkat akala niya siya'y ibon. Tinagtatataga yung kanyang mga magulang. Akala niya mga daga. Yan po testimony ng mga taong lango sa mga dangerous drugs. And we don't want to expose our people here. And I will speak without any end to denounce this measure as it is now formulated. It will open the floodgates of using marijuana, no matter how much guarantees the chief sponsor gives us today, because he is not in possession of genuine experiences himself and studies by qualified organization. I had my own experiences. Hindi po ako gumamit ng marijuana. Meron po akong 2 anak, ampun, na nagkaroon ng problema sa epilepsy. Yung sinasabi niyang seizures can be addressed by marijuana substances. Hindi po namin ginamitan ng marijuana ang aming mga inampun na mga ulila. Inaruga namin, inalagaan namin, pinagiyatan namin, inilayo namin dito sa droga at sa sinasabi niyang makakabuti. Unless proven by studies in the Philippines, huwag na natin pag-usapan ng U.S. Federal Drug Administration. Pag-usapan natin ng Philippine FDA. Kumuha kayo ng certification sa FDA ng Pilipinas na nagsasabing itong batas na ito ay makabubuti at hindi makasasama. I am 100% sure they will not grant it to you. So therefore, my dear colleagues, mga kagalang-galang na gumagawa ng batas sa ating bansa, huwag tayong padadala sa pakiusap. Huwag tayong sumunod sa ginagawa ng ibang banyagang bansa. Manatili tayong Pilipino na naniniwala sa halaga ng pamilya at halaga ng buhay ng bawat isa. No amount of justification will change the truth and reality. Marijuana is dangerous. Marijuana and substances from marijuana will expose our people to greater dangers. So I urge my colleague to sit down, study his measure more, word for word, provision by provision, and I'm willing to sit with him to make a better law and not insist on its present form, which is nothing but a legalization of something illegal in our country. Pag-aralan natin mabuti, kung dumating ang araw, mabuti ang marijuana, gagamitin natin sa ating mga mamamayan, tatanggapin natin yun. Tayo namang gumagawa ng batas, dapat lang magsabatas noon. Pero ngayon, it would be the height of irresponsibility for a member of the Philippine Congress to consider approving this measure when the gentleman cannot present any proof that it can be considered as a medicine at all. It is a dangerous drug, and in this present form of this proposed bill, it remains to be a dangerous drug. Kaya kailangan po pag-ingatan natin. At ako'y kumakatok sa puso ninyo, sa inyong isipan, gamitin ninyo ang inyong sariling pamilya bilang modelo na kailangan natin proteksyonan. Kailangan natin iligtas ang ating bansa sa droga. We support President Duterte, and I'm sure he will not approve this bill even if we pass it. I'm even sure the Senate will not even consider it because they are considering the greater danger and rather than the parochial view of 1 or 2 members of the Senate. Kaya sana'y huwag natin igaya sa death penalty. Binadali natin dito, andun, nasa cabinet sa loob ng Senado. Ano sinasabi nila? Hindi namin pag-uusapan yan. So we don't want that to happen. There are more urgent pieces of legislation now on our desks. Rather than engaging in this debate which goes around and around, but no proof of its beneficial purposes and effects on humans are being presented at this point. It is only the mere say-so of a member of Congress, the distinguished gentleman from Isabela. I respect him. I respect his family's tradition in Philippine politics, but this piece of legislation can forever mark the careers of your forefathers who have served the Philippine government. I close my interpellation with an appeal to him. Pag-aralan mo mabuti ito, and I urge the leadership not to rush this piece of legislation. Let us craft it in a better way so that it becomes consonant to the provisions of the Constitution. Otherwise, even the unconstitutionality of this measure can be brought to the Supreme Court. Matatalo kayo pag idinipensa niyo yung constitutional ito dahil hindi po ito constitutional. You cite the Constitution, but at the same time, you violate it. Legislators determine policy. Policy should be based on solid data, solid research. It cannot be based on conjectures, thinking, and sentiments of those sponsoring it. I respect all those who signed the measure because I know that you did not fully realize what you were signing. Ako po'y nakikiusap sa inyo huwag niyong ituloy ang suporta dito sa measure na ito sapagkat wala pong pinagbabasihan kung hindi ang magandang hangarin ng isa nating miyembro, Congressman Rodito Albano. Maraming salamat po, and thank you for the opportunity of putting on record all of these issues that are part and parcel of the decision that we should use in acting on this measure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much for that pontificating speech, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, next to interpolate is the Honorable Gentleman from Rizal, Michael John Duavit.
May I just add, Mr. Speaker, that I think it's unfair for our colleagues that what he said is that they signed and they didn't understand what they signed, Mr. Speaker. I think no one has the monopoly of intelligence here in this chamber, Mr. Speaker. But still, we do respect the views, and I respect very much the opinion of the gentleman from Manila, Mr. Speaker. And thank you for his wisdom. And I'm very sorry that our opinions don't jive, Mr. Speaker. So we just agree to disagree, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much to the gentleman from Manila.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to reiterate that next to interpolate is the Honorable Gentleman from Rizal, Michael John Duavit. I move that he be recognized for his interpolation.
The Honorable David is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honorable Gentleman from Isabela yield to a few clarificatory questions?
How few, Mr. Speaker?
Maybe 54, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. to my good friend, yes, Mr. Speaker. He can have all the time in this world, Mr. Speaker.
Well, actually, I will be brief. I hope that I will not abort the honorable sponsor. I mean, I appreciate the passion and the verve of the gentleman from Manila who preceded me. I'm surely going to be very dry when it comes to this, no? If I may, Mr. Speaker, read some side effects, no, from 3 drugs. The first one has side effects of drowsiness, tiredness or fatigue, muscle weakness, inability to control muscle movements, or ataxia, headache, tremor, dizziness, dry mouth, nausea, so on and so forth. Another one, headache, dizziness, drowsiness, tired feeling. Just to get to the more interesting things, abnormal thinking, disorientation, delusions, or loss of sense of reality, anxiety, aggressiveness, agitation, unusual excitement, confusion, convulsions, and seizures, hallucinations, hearing or seeing things that aren't there. Another one, dizziness or drowsiness, disorientation, weakness, lack of coordination, depression, anxiety, confusion, dry mouth, same. Mr. Speaker, 2 of these 3 are very commonly prescribed. One of them, Sesamet, is actually approved by the US FDA. May be surprising to find that Sesamet is the one I mentioned with the least. So again, I am not pointing this out to make Sesamet look like it is better than any others. Fact of the matter is, what the only thing I want to really illustrate here is that practically every medication has side effects. And I think we can all agree there. The important thing, and this is where our medical community comes in, our doctors, who we really have to trust, in my opinion, Your Honor, in that it is up to the doctors to make the determine which medicine should be prescribed, or actually which mix of medicines to prescribe. I am one of the last to sign on, actually, as a co-author. My interesting, Your Honors, my interest is actually in passing, as I am working on a bill or amendments to dangerous drugs that deal specifically, with precursors, or naming based on precursors. So when this came up, lumabas na po itong THC at lumabas na rin ang dronabinol, which the dronabinol, by the way, is in the FDA-approved Sesamet, and THC in Marinol and Sindros. No? So, napaisip po ako dito, and yun, drawing back on my experience in working on the cheaper medicine bill, naalala ko nga pala na when we are, which brings me to our first question, is the distinguished author and sponsor familiar with what is called the Philippine Pharmacopoeia?
Can you educate me on that, Mr. Speaker?
Okay. Basically, since we're talking medicine, the Philippine Pharmacopoeia is here, and I will read it. Based on Executive Order 302, 2004, a national pharmacopoeia is what adequately establishes standards for drug and drug products and crude drugs available for commerce in the Philippines. It is essential to the attainment of an effective regulatory and healthcare delivery system and address the foregoing constitutional mandates. Okay, Section 1 states that the Philippine Pharmacopoeia, the first edition, April 2004, and any supplement thereto is hereby declared and adopted as the official book of the standards and references for the determination of the identity, purity, and quality of pharmaceutical products and crude plant drugs in the Philippines. So in other words, for any substance synthesized or harvested from nature to actually become a medicine, ito yung end result po ng FDA approval process natin. Ito po yung necessary steps. Now, it also says in Section 2 that for pharmaceutical products and crude plant drugs that are not listed in the Philippine Pharmacopoeia, reference may be made to the latest editions of the United States Pharmacopoeia National Formulary, USPNF, Japanese Pharmacopoeia, British Pharmacopoeia, European Pharmacopoeia, and International Pharmacopoeia, and other books of standards and references as may be recognized and adopted by the Bureau of Food and Drugs, which is now our FDA, from time to time. However, Mr. Speaker, hindi po tayo pwedeng dumiretso, no? Na bigla na lang aprubahan ng FDA natin ang substances kagaya ng THC or durabinol. Because when it comes to this particular prospective medicine, it is a Schedule 1 drug. Am I correct?
Agree, Mr. Speaker.
And since we bring up scheduling, by definition, a Schedule 1 drug, or totally banned, is defined as having no accepted medical use in treatment. Correct, Your Honor?
Correct, Mr. Speaker.
And yet, here we have not one, not two, but not three, at last count 4 medicines accepted in pharmacopoeias that we are allowed to reference.
Namely, Mr. Speaker.
Namely, well, I have here Marinol, Sindros, Sesamet, the Honorable Subiri mentioned another one. For Marinol is accepted and allowed for sale in not just the US, it's approved in the UK and Japan as well. So which brings us to this question, Your Honor. Who are we doing this for? Why are we trying to remove, in essence, cannabis byproducts from strictly Schedule 1 and moving them to Schedule 2 or even lower Schedule 3? I think we can agree that we are doing it for the patients.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And
for
only the
those
patients.
who are really in need of those drugs, Mr. Speaker. And not again,
anyone else.
to any Tom, Dick, and Harry.
would the honorable sponsor agree that this bill focuses on that and makes that very clear?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. We are just providing a narrow access to those patients who really need, Mr. Speaker, this type of medicine.
So that's the first. We're doing it for the patients. The next question is provenance. Kasama rin po yan. Does this bill also cover that? It does. Is that not right, Your Honor?
Provenance in what sense, Mr. Speaker?
In what sense? It's the actual production and processing and packing and eventually sale.
It will be regulated, Mr. Speaker.
Exactly. And the
It will be
bill-
under government, strict government supervision, Mr. Speaker.
And the bill provides for that.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. 100%. And no Tom, Dick, and Harry again can plant into his backyard, any marijuana plant for that matter.
What is not in the bill, Your Honor, is that there will be no dispensaries. It will not be sold through your ordinary drugstore. Definitely, we are not creating a loophole in the form of pain centers.
No, Mr. Speaker.
Isn't it also true that by statutory construction, you've mentioned 3 in your bill, places where they can be had.
They can have access, Mr. Speaker.
And according to proper construction, anything outside of the list is not allowed.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker.
So we're safe on that end as well.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. And if you want to add some more to protect our people, Mr. Speaker, I'd be very glad to accept any amendment that you can offer, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, what I think I see here is there's a stigma associated, and maybe rightly so. But really, there is proof, because it's not just a prospective medicine anymore. Cannabis byproducts are being used as medicine already.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So I hope that that can be clear and be put on record. No? So as for those that will eventually vote in favor of this, will not really, not look irresponsible and did not do our homework, and we have some evil intentions, but really that if it were not a Schedule 1 drug or substance, we wouldn't even have to be here.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. There's no ill motives associated
Now with that, Mr. Speaker,
to this
I
bill.
think we are in agreement that I think the bases are covered, to use a common vernacular. However, again, to harmonize things, because of the nature of this bill, because it is rather unique, I do have some amendments later that we'll introduce at the proper time, that are just meant actually to perfect, in the sense that we do not want to have a disconnect with the Dangerous Drugs Act. And most of these amendments are simply to make it very clear and also to emphasize that these substances are not going to be treated any differently than any regulated drug.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I agree,
In fact, it is going to be grouped with the most heavily regulated drug, and in fact, by way of availability, the most regulated of all.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Appears that we are in agreement, Your Honor, subject to the adoption of proposed amendments later. I'd like to thank the honorable gentleman from Isabela for his time.
Thank you for your wisdom, Mr. Speaker, from the gentleman of the 2nd District of Rizal. First, I'm sorry. And a very good friend.
Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, with no other member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we close the period of interpolation. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Is there any objection?
chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration of House Bill 6517 and Committee Report number 402. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve bills on third reading. Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Bill 6528 for approval on third reading and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the bill and after call the roll for nominal voting. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6528 and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 6528, an act separating the Liloy National High School, Patawag Extension, Barangay Patawag, Municipality of Liloy, Province of Zamboanga del Norte from the Liloy National High School, converting it into an independent national high school to be known as Patawag National High School, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 6528. Abaya, Abayon, Abilianosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agarao, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Rosas, Bulot Pigtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixtrobiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Caso Franz, Caso Pedenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cerilles, Chávez, Chipeco, Co, Cubanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, del Mar, del Rosario, de Loso Montalia, de Maporo Abdullah, de Maporo Khalid, Duavit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fuentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gachalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Dong, González Fernando, Gorseta, Gullias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Halasos, Xavier, Co, Conjun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lee, Limgaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Mapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangdadato Suarto, Mangdadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martínez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Maliñaon, Mominal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpagos, Sevilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocomora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roquejari, Roque Rogelio, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar, Sabellano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Simpson, Suansing Celita, Suansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tan Monting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Talentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Yulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Mar Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative, and 0 abstention, House Bill 6528 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider on third reading House Bill 6529 and thereafter direct the Secretary General to read the title of the measure and call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6529 and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 6529, an act separating the Calawit National High School, Pianon Annex and Barangay Pianon, Municipality of Calawit, Province of Zamboanga del Norte from the Calawit National High School, converting it into independent national high school to be known as Pianon National High School. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 6529. Abad, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Echaron, Ako, Pacosta, Costa Alba, Adjong, Adbingula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batucabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertis, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Brosas, Bulut Bectam, Calgas, Calderon, Calixtrobiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Caso Franz, Caso Pedinil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serafica, Cerilles, Chavez, Chipeco, Co, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor del Mar, del Rosario, de los Montalia, de Maporo Dula, de Maporo Calid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buhayin, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Dong, González Fernando, Goreceta, Gulias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hofer, Halosos, Javier, Kokong Hun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lee, Limcaychong, Labrigat, Lopez Benu, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Mapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato Suarto, Mangudadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Minding, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles, Jericho, Nograles, Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Maliñao, Nuaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Pimisin, Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Elampago, Sevilla, Rewapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roquehari, Roquergelio, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salcedo, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar, Savillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansig Estelita, Swansig Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambuting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherny, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupasti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Único, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Beretta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Velosa, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suárez, Villarica, Villarin, Yulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Marcamen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 in the negative, 0 abstention, House Bill 6529 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider on third reading House Bill 6532 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill number 6532 and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 6532, an act establishing a national high school in Barangay Talisay, Municipality of San Isidro, Province of Davao Oriental, to be known as Talisay National High School. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 6532. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Mandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulot Begtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calix Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Casa Franz, Casa Fedenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serápica, Cerilles, Chávez, Chipeco, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, del Rosario, de Los Montaña, Dimaporo Abdullah, Dimaporo Khalid, Duwabit, Durano, Di, El Lago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Verdone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floyrendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García Jose, García Albano, Garin Richard, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gachalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio, González Fernando, Goriseta, Gullas, Hernández, Herrera D, Hoffer, Halusos, Xavier, Co, Conjun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lilim, Caichong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagaloroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato Suarto, Mangudadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martínez, Matugas, Miliana, Minding, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Novel, Nograles, Jericho, Nograles, Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez, Maleñaon, Mominal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia, Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpagos, Sevilla, Rawapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roquejari, Roque Rogelio, Zaptalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar, Sevillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estelita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez y Alvarado, Tan Muting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Único, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Beretta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suárez, Villarica, Villarín, Villago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Mar Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative, and 0 abstention, House Bill 6532 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider on third reading House Bill 639 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 639 and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 639, an act establishing a district hospital in the municipality of Santa Elena, province of Camarines Norte, to be known as the Santa Elena District Hospital, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members, consideration House Bill number 639. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Merabida, Brosas, Bulot Bigtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calix Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Casa Franz, Casa Pedenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Seráfica, Cerilles, Chávez, Chipeco, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesús, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, del Mar, de Rosario, de los Montalia, Dimoporo Abdullah, Dimoporo Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Pentebella, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José, García Albano, Garin Richard, Garin Sharon, Gasatay, Gatchalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Gomark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio Dong, González Fernando, Gurceta, Gullias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hofer, Halasos, Xavier, Co, Conjun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Li, Limcaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato Suarto, Mangudadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles, Jericho, Nograles, Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez, Maleñaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panginiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramiresato, Ramos, Relámpagos, Revilla, Robapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodríguez Isidro, Rodríguez Máximo, Román, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roquejari, Roque Rogelio, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar, Sabillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Esterita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tampunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villaperte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Yulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Marcamen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 votes in the affirmative, 0 negative, and 0 abstention, House Bill 639 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we'd like to acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Seth Frederick Haloshos. They are the University of the Philippines NCPAG class PM231 students, accompanied by their class instructors, Professor Amy Joan Exconde and Ms. Rosalind Segura.
The guests of the Honorable Halosos, please rise. Welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider on third reading House Bill 6575 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6575 and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill 6575, an act mandating the transfer of the Provincial Agrarian Reform Office in the municipality of Sugod to the city of Maasin, Southern Leyte, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 6575. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abo, Abueg, Atcharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Agdipay, Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez France, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barzaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulot Bigtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campus, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Predinil, Catamco, Caetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chepeco, Co, Juanco, Colliantes, Cortes, Cortuna, Coselan, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vere, de Pensor, del Mar, del Rosario, de Los Montaña, de Maporo Abdullah, de Maporo Mohamed Khalid, Duapit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Inverga, Erice, Irigel, Ermita Buhayin, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Pariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Marie, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Pentevilla, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Jaron, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Aurelio, Gonzales Fernando, Groseta, Gulias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hopper, Halosos, Javier, Co, Kunghun, Labad, Lacson, Lakman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Lee, Limcaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangdadato Suharto, Mangdadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos Mariño, Marquez Martinez, Matugas, Villana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañao, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque Jare, Roque Rogelio, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahale, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Zambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Meri, Sabillano, Sema, Siao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing Historieta, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherni, Abubakar, Tihada, Tebes, Chancor, Ting, Tino, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unapia, Ungam, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villafuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Yulago, Yap Arthur, Yap Lesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Rolando, Sarati, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, and 0 abstention, House Bill 6575 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider on third reading House Bill 6591 and thereafter direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and call the roll of members for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6591 and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill 6591, an act declaring November 8th of every year a special non-working holiday in the Eastern Visayas region to be known as the Typhoon Yolanda Resiliency Day. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 6591. Abaya, Abayon, Abillanosa, Abo, Abueg, Acharon, Akop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Aglipay, Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquinon Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Bansaga, Batawil, Batucabi, Bautista Bandigan, Vilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo, Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulut Bectang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campus, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Predinil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Sirapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chepeco, Cojuanco, Curiantes, Cortes, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, de Pensor, del Mar, del Rosario, de los Montalia, de Mapor Abdullah, de Mapora Muhammad Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Inverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet Marie, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fentevilla, Garbin, García Guindulin, García José Enrique, García Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatsalyan, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio, González Fernando, Groseta, Gullias, Hernández, Herrera D, Hopper, Halosos, Javier, Ku, Kunghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lesatin, Lechon, Lee, Lim Kaichong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyola, Macapagal-Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, mga Dodato Suharto, mga Dodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañao, Nuaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Patuano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineta, Plaza, Primicias, Agabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque Jare, Roque Rogelio, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahale, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Mary, Sabillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Sinson, Swansing Estrelleta, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, Si Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherny Abubakar, Tijada, Tebes, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Único, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villaferte, Villanueva, Villaraza Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Villolago, Yap Artur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Rolando, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative and 0 abstention, House Bill 6591 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider in third reading House Bill 6620 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Any objection? Chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6620 and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 6620, an act increasing the bed capacity of St. Anthony Mother and Child Hospital in Cebu City from 25 to 100 and appropriating funds, therefore. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 6620. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abo, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agarao, Agabao, Agdipay, Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Amentado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barzaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertis, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bondoc, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Gulot Beg, Begtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilao, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Predinil, Catampo, Caetano, Celeste, Serafica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chepeco, Cojo, Juanco, Coliantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Delipe, Datol, Daza, de Jesus, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, de Rosario, de Los Montalia, de Mapora Abdullah, de Mapora Muhammad Khalid, Duapit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Inverga, Irise, Iriquel, Ermita Buhayin, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet Marie, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Cuentovilla, Garbin, García Cuendulín, García José Enrique, García Albaneo, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gasalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio, González Fernando, Goroseta, Julias Hernández, Herrera D, Hopper, Halosos, Javier, Co, Conghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lakman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Chon, Lee, Katlim Kaichon, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyola, Makapagalaroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, mga Dodato Suharto, mga Dodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Villana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles, Jericho, Nograles, Carlo, Nolasco, Noñez Malañaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Pininola, Pacquiao, Patuano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Rodasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Recomora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque Jare, Roque Rogelio, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahade, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar Meri, Savillano, Sema, Siao, Silverio, Singson, Swansing, Estrelleta, Swansing, Horacio, Suarez, Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherni, Abubakar, Tihada, Tebes, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarte, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villapuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Yolago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zamora, Surupiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 0 abstention, House Bill 6620 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider in third reading House Bill 6634 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the said measure and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 6634 and call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill 6634, an act renumbering the Cebu 1st, 2nd, and 4th District Engineering Offices to conform and correspond respectively with the numbering of the legislative districts in the province of Cebu. Roll call of members for consideration of House Bill 6634. Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abo, Abueg, Acharon, Ako, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agabao, Agdipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Pamintado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barzaga, Batawil, Batocabi, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Beron, Bolilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Brosas, Bulut Bigtang, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campus, Canama, Cari, Casila, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Predinil, Catamco, Caetano, Celeste, Serapica, Cirillas, Chavez, Chepeco, Coco, Juanco, Corrientes, Cortes, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Delipe, de Tol, Daza, de Jesús, de Venecia, de Vera, Defensor, del Mar, del Rosario, de Losa Montalia, de Mapor Abdullah, de Mapor Mohamed Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Ilago, Inverga, Erice, Eriguel, Ermita Buain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ebardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer, Juliet, Marie, Ferrer, Luis, Ferriol, Floyorendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Ventevilla, Garbin, García Gwendolyn, García José Enrique, García Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, González Alexandria, González Aurelio, González Fernando, Goroseta, Gulias, Hernández, Herreradi, Hopper, Halosos, Javier, Co, Conjun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lesatin, Lichon, Lee, Lincaychong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel Luis, Loyolo, Macapagalaroyo, Maceta, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudodato Suharto, Mangudodato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Villana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Noñez Malañao, Nuaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Ichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Premisia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Máximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque Jare, Roque Rogelio, Sacdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahales, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salón, Sambar, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento César, Sarmiento Edgar Mary, Savillano, Sema, Siao, Silverio, Simpson, Swansing Estrelleta, Swansing Horacio, Suarez, si Alvarado, Tan Bunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Sherni Abubakar, Tijada, Tebes, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Único, Oy Juliet, Oy Rolando, Oy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Vilarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Viloso, Vergara, Villaferte, Villanueva, Villaraza Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Violago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate, Subiri.
With 217 affirmative votes, 0 negative, and 0 abstention, House Bill 6634 is now approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider bills under the calendar of business for Thursday and Friday, and pursuant to our rules, allow me to put forth an omnibus motion for the consideration of the following. House Bill 6688 under Committee Report number 483, House Bill 5262 under Committee Report 484, House Bill 6689 under Committee Report 485, and House Bill 6690 under Committee Report 486. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider the respective explanatory notes as the sponsorship of the said measures.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate on the said local bills, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments and approve the committee amendments, if any, as contained in the respective committee reports of the aforementioned bills.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The same is terminated.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading the following House bills. Again, I repeat, House Bill 6688, House Bill 5262, House Bill 6689, and House Bill 6690.
All those in favor of House bills, of the aforementioned House bills on second reading, please say A. All those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House bills number 6688, House Bill 5262, House Bill 6689, and House Bill 6690 are all approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we transmit to the Senate all House bills approved on third reading.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we include additional co-authors to House Bill number 42, 2830, and 6592 as contained in the lists to be submitted by the Committee on Rules. So move.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. Same is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, considering that copies of the journal have been distributed to all the members, I move that we approve Journal number 40, dated November 27, 2017. So moved.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with our rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, I move that we refer the following House resolutions to the appropriate committees. House Resolution 1066 to the Committee on Energy. House Resolution 1435 to the Committee on Transportation. House Resolution 1443 to the Committee on Trade and Industry. House Resolution 1444 to the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs. House Resolution 1445 to the Committee on Games and Amusements. House Resolution 1449 to the Committee on Public Order and Safety. House Resolution 1453 to the Committee on Transportation. House Resolution 1455 to the Committee on National Defense and Security. House Resolution 1456 to the Committee on Local Government. And House Resolution 1457 to the Committee on Natural Resources. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The aforesaid House bills are hereafter referred to the said appropriate committees.
Mr.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under business of the day, I move that we consider for approval on second reading House Bill 6580 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read House Bill title number 6580.
House Bill number 6580, an act creating 4 additional branches of the Regional Trial Court and the 9th Judicial Region to be stationed in Zamboanga City and appropriating funds therefore. Amending for the purpose Section 14, Paragraph J of Batas Pambansa Bilang 129, otherwise known as the Judiciary Reorganization Act of 1980 as amended.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate and recognize the honorable sponsor, the Honorable Bundok, and I move that the explanatory note be the sponsorship speech. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The Honorable Bundok is recognized for the sponsorship.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the explanatory note be the sponsorship speech.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, with no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we close the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, with no committee or individual amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading on House Bill 6580.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. All those in favor of House Bill 6580, please say aye. Aye. All those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 6580 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider for approval on second reading House Bill 2830 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the bill.
Secretary General is directed to read House Bill 2830.
House Bill number 2830, an act creating 16 additional branches of the regional trial courts in the whole province of Batangas for the purpose of amending Batas Pambasa Bilang 129, otherwise known as the Judiciary Reorganization Act of 1980 as amended, and appropriating funds therefore.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate and recognize the honorable sponsor, the Honorable Senior Deputy Majority Leader Rimpi Bundok.
The Honorable Senior Deputy Majority Leader is recognized for the sponsorship.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the explanatory note be the sponsorship speech.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, with no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate this period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adopt the amendments as contained in Committee Report number 440. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, with no other committee or individual amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading on House Bill 2830. So move, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
All those in favor of House Bill 2830, please say aye. With amendments? All those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 2830 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn until Wednesday, November 29, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So
Any objection? Chair is none. We adjourn until November 29, 2017, Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Ayos.